Welcome back to the Two Alphas. Tonight, on this 4th of July weekend, we have a special guest and we're going to get it kicking right after this. All right. Yeah. So we got a special guest, Independence Day weekend, and we're going to bring it to you live.
All right, before we do that, let's thank who's pays for all this lovely stuff here. And that is this company called Saber Team Tactical. Boom. Type in saberteamtactical.com, then go to classes, or you can read all the other stuff that we got posted up there. Go ahead, Al.
Private one-on-one classes. That's what you want, because what happens is we get you in there and we do a analysis of your abilities and we start from there. So if you're an intermediate shooter, we will not start you at a beginner. We will not start talking about things that you already should know. We'll watch and we can determine based upon your skill level, and we'll push you from there. The other classes, anything that you see that's listed inside here, you can ask us, and especially if you have a group, we will make sure to bring out our lesson plans, which is mostly up here, but we also have it written and we have handouts for you as well. And we will run you through all the other courses. Our next course is coming up in July. Scroll down, bro.
Okay.
The next class coming up is July 22nd, and that's a rifle and PCC class. If you want to run your rifle or your PCC like a pistol, come show up, because anything that can be hit with a pistol, we can show you how to do it with a rifle.
Yep. And let's see what else. Boom. Yeah, this class is open, so anybody can sign up right now. Open registration is there up till July 21st, and no walk-ins. You must sign up online for any of these classes. Let's see, that's the one we're going to promote now. Also, too, we got a laser engraving company, and do Velcro patches, portraits, dog tags, magazines, leather patches, and all kinds of other stuff. If you got any questions, put your name and your email and your phone number in here in the subject and hit "I'm not a robot" and submit. And we'll go from there. Before we do that, I want to tell you guys we are live on Twitch. We are live on D Live. We are also live on the lovely Rumble, and there was one I'm missing. Oh, and YouTube. Yeah, I keep forgetting about YouTube. YouTube is, but we're live there too. So you guys on YouTube, remember, if you're following us on YouTube, make sure you do the bell at the top and do all, and you'll see us when we come on. If you guys get the Rumble app, please get the Rumble app and type in the search bar the Two Alpha Talks, our channel, and subscribe to that channel. And when we go live, it'll come up on your phone or your tablet or any other device you have, and you can watch the show either live or you can watch it after the fact. We're still trying to figure out how to do the chats through Rumble. So once I get that set up, then we'll be able to chat with you guys in real time. So like and share. And also, too, let's go ahead and thank WK for coming on. Thank you, WK, for supporting the channel. And two, down in Villa Rica, we had some sad news that happened. Georgia Arms in Villa Rica caught fire over yesterday evening. And so far, the place did not burn down like I thought it did. They had a fire in the back that was pretty contained. They had over 13 firefighters and 13 fire trucks that was there supporting and trying to put that fire out, and they did put it out, but they probably have some water damage and probably have some other damage, smoke and fire damage to the place. They probably won't be up and operational. That's going to be a big hit in the ammunition for reloads in our general area of the state of Georgia. So just making you guys aware, it didn't burn down to the ground, but it's still standing. But I don't think they're going to be operational for at least 7-8 months. You know what I'm saying? Not unless they can turn it around and get back in operation. Also, too, you guys know we just had Baltimore just had a shooting. We all calling it a gangland shooting, but the powers be is calling it a mass shooting. And 2 people were killed, 17 were wounded, and it involved over 30 different people. So here's another incident where they're going to use something like a gangland shooting, which they changed the criteria from the FBI. You had 4 more that was wounded besides the gunman, and they're going to classify it as a mass shooting. This does not even, it almost does not even go for the qualification of a mass shooting, because only 2 people were killed and everybody else was wounded. So, but they're pushing it as a mass shooting. They haven't put out the firearms. They haven't put out anything because guess what, guys? They're all black. And probably the victims are black and the shooters are black. So it doesn't fit the narrative for them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So makes you angry on this stuff. This goes, you know what I'm saying? Also, too, the Brace rulings went to the 5th Circuit Court about 3 days ago. And so far, the judges are asking some very positive questions about the Brace ruling and stumped the ATF. And the ATF did not have a definitive answer on why they are, because the judge asked, if you put a brace on, doesn't it make it harder to conceal and make it easier to aim and shoot? And the ATF didn't have an answer for that, So, but FDC and GOA are also pushing for a national thing from the judge that to nullify the brace rule. And so, but the ATF is pushing back against that. They don't want a national ruling. They want still to be the way it is right now. So the way it's looking, as long as this continues to go into the Supreme Court, that we might end up getting the brace, but it's going to not be the way we're going to think. It's looking like it's going to be something to where there's going to be some restrictions or something on it still, because they're trying to still classify AR pistols with braces as SBRs. So it's one of those things. We're just waiting, guys. So don't do anything. Yeah, hang on to your hats. Don't do anything stupid. Keep the pictures off the internet. Watch it going to these gun ranges, because technically, if you go into those gun ranges, they are required to turn you over to the ATF, and they can, and some of them, if they're being pressured by the ATF, they will turn you in. They have your driver's license when you go in to shoot. Only thing they got to do is give them your name and everything, and then the ATF is going to show up at your house. So be very careful with that, guys. Don't look at this as where you can you're gonna make the last stand on that hill by yourself. You will not win by yourself. All right.
Right.
So we got a special guest here tonight. My good buddy Henry Howard. Me and him served together in Korea, and we got a bunch of stories, but we ain't gonna talk about those stories. We're gonna talk about what is the Second Amendment, man. I mean, this thing, back in the day, it was something else. But before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and let Henry Howard introduce himself and talk about his background real quick. Go ahead, Henry.
All right, yeah. Good evening, everyone. My name is Henry Howard. I'm 57 years old. I joined the Army back in, I think, 1984, right out of high school.
I thought you were gonna say the Civil War.
Yeah, I don't think I'd enjoyed that period of time, but I mean, while I was in service, I did light infantry, heavy infantry, light cavalry, heavy cavalry. Now I'm just heavy. Ooh. But
You done turned into a 19 kilo.
yeah. Yeah. After 21 years of service, I retired from the Army. My main reason for retirement was, if I stayed in, I continue to get my regular pay. If I retired, I get half my pay for free. And so, me being a smart person, who wants to work for half their pay? The other half is mine already. Yep. So I went ahead and retired. Then I did 18 years in the home improvement industry. And now I'm reaping the benefits of my selfless service to my country right in here and now.
Yeah, you deserve it. You work for it.
Yes, sir.
So what I was basically talking about, the Second Amendment back in when I was growing up, we was able to buy firearms at the flea market. You can just go to the local store, and man, you was able to buy. We had a little store called Pen and Save. They were almost selling everything but firearms there. You can buy ammunition. There was like the Pen and Save in California. It was almost like a CVS. So they even had triple F black powder on the floor, because I got my dad to buy me 2 black powder pistols that I put them together, and I told him the guy wouldn't sell me the caps or the black powder. So I went and got my dad, and I said, this is what I need, triple F black powder. So he went in there and grabbed the triple F black powder little can, $7, man, and went up to the thing, and the guy at the counter knew he was buying it for me, but it was no big deal. You know what I'm saying? But nowadays,
back in those days with a general store, you can get all that stuff. Then you'll have to use the wagon to go down to the market, and there's just the Little House on the Prairie.
Get out of here, man. It's not that long ago. It's not the 5 and dime. You know what I'm saying? This was in the 70s, man. Okay. Get out of here, dude.
Yeah. It's amazing because when you hear stories like that, you think of those days, and what you're describing is not that long ago.
No.
And you think about the progress, the degree that we went backwards in reference to people being able to utilize materials that you just spoke about.
Yeah, guns were, I'm from California, so guns were free. I mean, California was just like Georgia back in the day. Wow. I mean, it was a free country. I mean, state. And you can walk around with guns. You had guns. And, I mean, nobody cared. We shot guns.
Do you think there was a bigger respect for firearms back then than there is today?
Yeah, it was. Until somebody decided to shoot a president. You know what I'm saying? And that's what changed everything.
Okay.
And seeing Howard, you grew up here in the state of Georgia, right?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up down here in the South.
Yeah.
And I give y'all a little story, back in the 70s and 80s, as you were saying, Cornelius, guns wasn't that big of a deal. It was commonplace. And generally, it wasn't that important either. The only people who really owned a gun were men who had families, a single family dwelling, a gun enthusiast, or someone who worked in the law enforcement field, or in that field where they required to have a gun, and then your hunters. But something happened back in the 80s. I think it was the internet.
Yeah,
it stoked a lot of communication, stoked a lot of concerns. Now people have open access to information, right. And they access to other stuff too.
Well, I almost say because I know I didn't get involved with the internet until, was it 94, 95?
I mean, the internet actually came out, strong World Wide Web in the 90s.
Right.
And that's when that crime spike just took off.
because they had people
Because-
being able to talk to each other.
Exactly. And then, mainly the young people who took control of the internet.
Mhm.
And you get into these games and gang activities and
And prostitution, everything was
exactly
going on.
the want and
Yeah,
need
and-
for a gun increased.
Yeah.
Exactly what Howard's saying in reference to it. You can look at the internet and see the pervasiveness of how somebody on the West Coast can actually do something that somebody on the East Coast was doing, just basically watching videos. On YouTube, this platform that we're on, one of the platforms that we use, was one of the leaders in that. In that, gang members and or even copycats in say Peoria can look up and see what they're doing right in Brooklyn, New York, and they can emulate that all the way in Peoria.
But you also, when you see that, and although it's miles away from you, it's still scary.
Mhm.
And hey, that ain't gonna happen to me.
Right.
It's that attitude.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but still back then you didn't see a lot of people buying guns the way, when I was still in the army, even at Fort Benning, I lived on post and I had guns in the house. Nobody
Yeah.
knew. And because it was nobody's business, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just never showed anybody, never talked about it. And but I never carried it. I never had the desire to carry a firearm.
Yeah, and it really wasn't a big deal. Who cared?
Yeah.
Right. And today it's more of a status symbol than it actually is what you guys are actually describing. In a place where it was just no different than a hammer, today it's like a Gucci belt buckle. Everybody wants
What's
one.
that, having a gun?
Having a gun, yeah.
Huh. Never even thought about it like that.
Yep. It's a tool, the way you guys are describing it, that you grew up with, and it was like commonplace. Now, see, you two grew up in places where there were firearms. Me,
Definitely with
I
the
grew
young.
up where I grew up behind enemy lines. And New York has always been, for my entire youth and my mid-aged, say I left there at 21. So all that time, it was always illegal to own firearms. Literally, yeah, people can get them, and you can go through hoops and jumps. Nobody's doing that. It was almost $1,000 to get a license in New York to carry a gun. Not many people are willing to put that out. Just $1,000 between 1980 and 1986 to have a firearm license, right? And then one of the other things they would put a check mark against you for is if you didn't carry large sums of money. So basically, if you were a jeweler or you were a banker or somebody in that industry, you can get a firearm permit. Otherwise, you're SOL.
I think it was, the spike in crime was the prompt for a lot of lawmakers to ease those laws because, human survival, self-protection is real high on most people's anvils.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah, but they made it easier for
people to get a gun. And rightly so, because it's like a double-edged sword. If I can't protect myself and my family and my neighbors, and there's crime rampant on the street, it's more than what the government can control.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
You got to give me a fighting chance as a citizen.
Right.
So they
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying, but a lot of people say F the laws. Prime example here is the Koreans in the LA riot. They had all these banned AKs and they had Dracos. They had all types of weapons, and because they had those weapons, they were able to fight off an armed organization of people trying to come and destroy Koreatown.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And they fought for 24 hours out there to stop those people because police left. And military did not come in until 12 hours later.
Right. And that was also a decision by the government to back out of LA during that time.
They wanted them to kill themselves. That's what it was all about. So they coordinated the whole area off and they just contained it. And they said, hold off for 12 hours. Let's see what happens. That's exactly what they did. And they held off for 12 hours and people were murdering and robbing and doing everything. They're just going
It was
nuts.
probably the first purge.
It was the first purge until they went to Koreatown. So Koreatown is supposed to have been destroyed, and it wasn't because they fought back. They didn't know they had those weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Then when they started moving toward Beverly Hills, it was a caravan moving toward Beverly Hills. And that's when the police and the military said, "Nope, we're moving in."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they stopped it.
Mhm.
And then that's when they went in and put it down at that point.
Yeah,
you know?
you can't mess with the big money at that point.
No. You had the big wigs in there because they were all unarmed. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have firearms. They relied on the government to protect them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Private security.
Right. And so the government had to come in and be the white knights and saviors for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've been seeing a lot of that that's going constantly over and over and over, where, like I said, when we had Ronald Reagan get shot, then that was crazy because they came out with the what was that bill, Al? The
Brady Bill?
The Brady Bill. Mm-hmm. And everybody was like, man, I remember when the Brady Bill came out to California, everybody was pissed, you know. But then I was talking to a lot of the gun dealers, and it's like, man, don't even worry about this Brady Bill. We got workarounds. Right. Nothing's gonna change. Mm-hmm. This thing's gonna sunset in 10 years and we good to go still. And people were buying guns. Matter of fact, I think it was more gun shops even opened up when the Brady Bill hit. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. You was buying ammunition and guns like it was no tomorrow back in those days. You know? So and now we at a level where a lot of people, we had the summer of love. Well, that's what I call it, Howard. Summer of love, you know, when they, yeah. So they was burning down everything.
Yeah.
And everybody did not, a lot of people didn't foresee this coming. You know, a few of us saw it. We tried to warn them, but we didn't have this platform back then.
Right.
And, but a lot of people didn't see it coming. So when it happened, it caught everybody by surprise. When it happened, me and my wife were sitting here laughing at everybody because, you know, I'm prepared.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't go to the store for 30 days.
Yeah. I remember you showed me your pack box.
Yeah, right. That's one a minute. Yeah. So, I mean, how did that affect you? The summer of love when it happened.
I'm kind of a flip flopper. You know me.
Okay. Yeah, I know you.
And I jump on whatever bandwagon that's more in favor for me. You know.
Right.
I think I just stood. I sat on the sidelines on that one.
Yeah. We all did. I sat on the sidelines myself. I didn't get involved with the summer of love. But I was prepared for the summer of love to come to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I stay prepared. No matter how I flip flop, I'm still responsible for the safety and security of my family and my household. Mm-hmm. And that'll never change no matter what my views are. Mm-hmm.
One of the things that, in our program, we our theme is to bring regular, everyday Second Amendment proponents to the forefront on social media. So one of the things that we were listening to, and I think I heard this earlier when we were chatting, have you ever thought that there was a need for you not to have firearms?
Well, me personally, having a firearm is it's a right, and it's a responsibility just based off of my history and upbringing, and things I've been involved with in my life.
Right.
Where I find caution at is firearm in the wrong people's hands can be extremely dangerous to society in the wrong people's hands. Right. Mm-hmm. That's what needs to be controlled. I mean, law-abiding citizens shouldn't have their rights taken away from them for few knuckleheads. And the thing is, we're so far down that rabbit hole, you're not taking my gun.
Right.
We're too far down this rabbit hole. and they got to put money in to take care of the mental health of people. Because back in the day, they used to put mental health people in a hospital or institution. They used to stay there
Mhm.
for years. But
Mhm.
the treatment was so bad that they shut all those hospitals down.
Right.
Now they give them medicine and put them back on the streets.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What we're witnessing right now, I think we're witnessing the collapse of society. You know, we're on the verge of it. What they want is, I keep telling everybody, what they wanted to test bed is California. They want California nationwide. You look at California, that highest unemployment rate. You have the highest homeless rate. You have the highest mass shootings in any state,
Mm.
and this is the most restricted gun state. And you, I mean, the average, you can make $100,000. I mean, 100 grand a year out there, and that's poverty. You barely living. You know what I'm saying? And but that's the test bed that they want for the rest of the country. And we can see they're trying to push that because we have, if you look at all the blue states, we got California, New York, uh, what's the other ones? Seattle,
Maryland, should I
Oregon,
say?
all those states. Or matter of fact, look what Oregon just went through. Not and was it Oregon or the Seattle?
Yeah.
Look what Seattle just went through. And when they had the summer of love hit them, and those guys took over a whole city blocks. You know what I'm saying? And their police couldn't even do anything about it. And so you look at those areas, and you having people going in and robbing and stealing and taking food and things off the they raiding these stores and stuff. And as long as they don't raid over $1,000 worth of stuff, they can't arrest them.
Right.
You know, and if you get arrested for a non-felony crime, it can be a less than felony assault charge. They will let you go.
Right. It's even worse. I just read it the other day that they're doing something along the lines of not even what you mentioned, arrest. If you commit those crimes, they're not even investigating them.
Wow.
Simple assault, theft. Like under what you said, under
That's
certain
right.
number.
Taken. Yeah.
Yeah, and all those things that helps or affects the quality of life of an individual. So if you stop investigating and that piles up, you just expect that to happen and it's okay. You expect somebody walking down the street, punch you in the face, and keep on walking. You have no recourse. And that's where we're headed.
Yeah, and check this out, Howard. And what they're doing is, look what happened on Juneteenth. The news is going around saying this is all being caused by black folks. Ain't that something?
That's something, yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. It's only 13 something percent black folks, but we are all 80 to 90% on the news. Committing the crimes, robbing the stores. You know, they don't show when the white dude with the mask and the gloves go into CVS and rob and carry on. They don't show all that, you know. But they definitely gonna show them chicks with them weeds and stuff, then doing stealing.
Yeah, I mean, it's about everything has to do with money. And I mean, and no one's gonna watch the news and TV if you see a bunch of white guys stealing. They're like what 68% of society or something like that. But when you put a minority on TV, the majority of the TV watchers are Caucasian, and they're gonna watch it.
Right.
Going to bring up airings and increase the ratings and advertisement and all of that. It's just publicity.
But when they do that, every single time they do that, guess what it does? It pushes gun sales.
It pushes gun sales. I mean, it's that fear factor again. I know because before COVID, man, I'm telling you, I made a transition. I ain't gonna lie, I voted for Trump the first time. And while I was in the military, I always voted Republican because I know the Republicans are going to take care of the military.
Right.
But when I got out, I somehow switched Democrat because I think what they was doing was more beneficial to me.
Okay.
You know, and you know, Trump kind of excited me, but you know, with me, it's about integrity. And, you know, once you lose your integrity with me, I don't want nothing to do with you. But,
Right.
but before COVID, man, I took all my guns and put them up in the attic. I think me and you had a conversation.
Yeah, we had a
about,
long
like, what's going
conversation
on
about it.
here, man?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was like, you know, we don't need these damn guns. We don't need them. And then when COVID happened, and I sat there, you know, everybody's at home. You can't go to work. You just got to watch TV.
Right.
And you're watching all this stuff happen. I like, shit, let me get my guns out this attic. And
Right.
I brought all my guns back down. Matter of fact, I bought my 2 daughters a gun. Got my
Oh, wow.
a 9mm. We got in that backyard. We done that training and this, and the other. I said, I'm gonna be ready. I went and, you know, now I personally I own like 8 guns. I don't know why I need them, but I feel like I do.
Right. Yeah, you always need them.
So,
Exercise is right.
I jumped the fence, and so whatever suits me, that's where I'm gonna be.
Okay. Yeah, ain't
That
nothing
makes
wrong with
sense.
that.
Nope, that makes perfect good sense.
Yeah, I always had firearms. Even when I was in California, before the Army, after the Army, got crazy with them after the Army. But now I exercise my rights 365 days a year. You know, I keep a gun, always have some type of self-protection, because 911 is not gonna help me. You know what I'm saying? It may help me after the fact, but when it's going down, I got to preserve myself.
I mean, you know, even with this last shooting at that mall, you know, I think 2 cops were on site. You know, they keep showing this cam of this one, you know. I mean, he ran until he got tired.
Yeah, he was about to pass out.
Yeah, I mean, he was like, I'm moving as fast as I can. You know, but then, you know, he got there and he got there quick, but that got there quick, between that time span, a lot of people died.
Right.
Yes, they did. Yeah, but you know that show, it never hit the news. Like,
yeah, I mean, if just a few people
right
have been allowed to carry that with common sense folks, that number could have been cut down tremendously.
Yes, it would have been. Yeah, and they had to shoot the guy from a distance to take him down. Yeah, because they couldn't get there in time. You know what I'm saying? And it only takes, you know, 2 or 3 minutes for it to happen.
Right.
And a lot of people can get wounded or die in that 2 or 3 minutes. You know, that's like eternity for a lot of folks. A lot of people don't realize that.
I mean, when you're watching a good movie and a commercial come on, it is agony, you know.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
It is. Yeah. So, so you say you brought all your guns down. So what are you doing now to enhance your Second Amendment lifestyle? Are you going to the range? Are you still shooting? You still training your family up?
Yeah, well, you know, I go out to hunting down at Shamrock, and
okay.
When I leave, I mean fishing at Shamrock.
Oh, okay, fishing.
And then so usually when I leave, there you go down about another 15 miles. There's a stretch of woods, you know, and so at least once a week I go and test fire my weapon, and I do a little high crawl. I can't do that low crawl no more, you know.
You high crawling? Come on, man. Get out of here.
5-second rush, you know. It's,
man, I don't get on the ground no more.
You know,
I don't even do push-ups, bro.
You know, like I said, I'm a heavy can.
Oh my God.
But, yeah, you know, I've always, I mean, as a matter of fact, I've gotten into archery. I've got me a bow, and I practice that in the backyard. Matter of fact, if you look at my Facebook page, you'll see me with my grandkids all the time. And most of our videos, it's about shooting and stuff. You know, because you know, you go in Walmart, half the toys is guns. I mean, you don't have much of a selection, and so that's why I say, you know, the U.S. we are so far down that rabbit hole, you can't turn around. The dirt is building up behind us. There's so many guns on this street that the only defense is a gun.
Right.
So I like what you said in the beginning in reference to who should have them, and that it's not of total confiscation is that we should make sure that the right people have firearms. Because,
Right.
as you said, and it's on the second part of that, we all know they could do a confiscation tomorrow. Criminals are still going to have guns, and that's the problem. You know,
Mhm.
and then it leaves the rest of us almost like
Naked.
sheep,
Yeah.
wide open
Yeah.
for
I mean,
anything that
you're
this guy want
literally
to do.
defenseless.
Mm-hmm. Yes, nothing you can do except hang on for the ride. 'Cause
Right,
you know it's
and
coming.
we all know that the Supreme Court has already ruled that police in the United States don't have a responsibility to defend an individual citizen. So that means if they show up, they show up. If they don't, they don't. And
Right.
there's no repercussions for that,
Well,
other than the fact that one of us may die.
look what's happening in California, where you got those kids are doing the donuts and stuff in the middle of the road. Police show up, drive off. They don't even get involved anymore. Yeah.
It's now to the point where it's $950 before it's a crime. Shoplifting is a crime in the state of California. $950.
I mean, most
Up to
times,
that
you know,
point.
unless it's a serious incident, police don't even come out. They do the report over the phone.
Yep.
Right. They
Unless
come
there's
out
something
after the fact.
actively going on, there's no need. They'll take all the information over the phone.
Yeah. Kinda
And
sucks.
You know, just
So
to
the
add a
thing-
little humor to this serious conversation. One of the biggest benefits, you know, to the Second Amendment is if we ever get attacked by another country, we've already got Minutemen ready.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Which is
Yep.
true. Which is true.
Yep.
We have one of the largest armies in the world.
And
As
I think
civilians.
a lot of countries who would be
I mean,
interested
you know,
in
you can
invading
take
the
any
United States
neighborhood.
realize that.
You can
Yeah.
take any neighborhood, let paratroopers drop.
Yeah.
They're gonna drop before they hit the ground.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But you're gonna have some people out there. Oh, what are you doing?
Right. It would
Yeah.
be total chaos. It would be
Yeah,
total
it'll be
chaos.
chaos. Yeah, it'll
You
be
know,
red
and one of
dawn.
the things that one of our industry guys says is that you better load
Oh,
up
we're
on
gonna
ammo,
pull all
guns,
this up.
parts, and
Yeah.
accessories. And that's true because at this point we talked about that too before, Al, in reference to finding firearms and ammunition now as opposed to waiting till when you need it.
Yeah, there's a thing right
And
now.
training.
We're hearing about hard times supposed to come. They're gonna raise the prices on a lot of stuff. So buy your ammunition now. Buy your guns. Buy your parts and accessories. You can buy guns at the local pawn shop. People are pawning guns like no tomorrow right now, and you can get some pretty good deals. Ammunition is still high, but I order a lot of my stuff off of Palmetto, and it's only like $13 for shipping, and so you can't beat that. But they say hard times are coming, and I'm hearing this multiple different people sources, and that the price is going to be going up. They're telling everybody buy your ammunition, get everything you need to get right now, because when it gets close to this election year, the price is going to go up because people are going to start panicking. Because if we have our nominee to be Trump, I think they're going to try to burn this country to the ground. That's what I think. And in order to stop him, but I think this time the people are not going to let this happen. I think they're gonna put their foot down, because we're already seeing evidence of that, where the people are doing it with the alphabet people and dealing with children, and so they're getting ready to put their foot down and try to stop it. So get yourselves get. I can't say some of the words because I'll be looking like I'm enticing. So I'm just saying, you guys, get yourself prepared. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Do what you have to do to get yourself prepared. Take a little money aside, buy a little bit here, buy a little bit there. You got plenty of time right now instead of waiting to the last minute and do panic buying like we saw doing the doing a cough session. You know, they were selling ammunition and bullets for, what was it, 9mm for $1 bullet? Yeah, it was going for $1 bullet.
That was just practice stuff.
Well, right. I mean, yeah, I'll tell you, Kanish, I talk to a lot of people, and you know, I'm a Democrat, and before COVID, I think maybe 3% of all Americans had guns.
Mm-hmm.
Through COVID, and now it's like 1 in 5 Americans have guns.
Yeah.
And some of the biggest purchasers are minorities and Democrats, because I think most of the Republicans already got guns in that.
Well,
So, I mean, so the threat is real.
yeah, the threat is real. The biggest demographics is black females and white females is second, and the third is the South. The South is the largest owner of guns. So which is good because that'll turn into a stronghold when things do go down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So those states will start to hopefully they'll merge together and become as one. It'll be be the Civil War all over again, be black folks in it this time. So you know what I'm saying?
And as I always say, every time we bring that up, how we're going to distinguish one from another.
Yeah,
because we talk about
be,
this even off the air, and I always ask them. So
it'll be just like how they do it, and I've seen in a lot of different places. It'll be an armband, or it'll be a hat band. It'll be some type of band you'll wear to know who's who. That's how the militia are doing it, and they're also doing it. If you watch in Croatia, they're doing it that way. You see the armbands and stuff, and those guys got yellow armbands. So because they almost, if you look at a Russian soldier and a what's the name of that country over there? Not Kosovo, but they're fighting Russia right now. Their uniforms almost look identical. Ukraine. They look identical. I don't know how they telling them apart. To tell you the truth, I'll just be over there shooting everybody. You know what I'm saying? but I've noticed some of them are wearing armbands. Especially the militia group. Then you got Japanese soldiers are going over there now, and they're wearing a whole black uniform. They're gonna end up getting killed by the Ukrainians. I mean, it's crazy. And I wouldn't be a part of that mess. No. To tell you the truth.
But I mean, to be honest with you, my thinking is, I don't think we Americans really want to fight each other. Even when you look at what happened with the U.S. Capitol, most of the folks were just walking around, being present, making a statement. There was there was opportunity for some serious fighting and serious killing. And one person actually died from the actual events that took place. People had heart attacks and stuff like that. But physical altercation, there was just that one female, and so people will make a stand. But I guess in that situation, we don't want to fight each other.
No,
we honestly don't. And we're hoping that our legislators can work things out.
Yeah.
Keep things peaceful. And so, but right now, the two big heads aren't talking to each other. And it's hard to work it out.
United States we're coming to a boiling point here. You know what I'm saying? You see people are waking up. People are waking up to getting angry. And so what's happening, the boiling pot is boiling and the people can't take it anymore. So it's just a matter of time before something set this off. You know what I'm saying? And I think with this, and they're already predicting with this election cycle, this is going to be it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so we have about a year and 7-8 months before this thing kicks off. And once it kicks off, because if you notice, BLM's been very quiet. You know what I'm saying? The guys who burned down all these cities and stuff, where are those guys? They've been very, very quiet. They're still out there. You know what I'm saying? And they've been, I've been reading reports. They've been arming themselves. They've been taking training. They've been getting guns, and they've been doing all this other stuff too. So they're preparing themselves for all-out war. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you have our federal government is going after white guys. You know, the biggest threat to America is the white male. You know what I'm saying? And so they're trying to cut all the white dudes off at the knees before they even get started. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah. And so where did that leave us? You know what I'm saying? That leaves us with a few guys, because they're going to try to, first thing they're going to try to do is the federal government is going to go in and try to arrest those guys before something even kick off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then now we have their groups to want to be touched. So now it leaves a bunch of beta dudes out here trying to fight a BLM organization
Mm,
who the government who's protecting them. So
that makes sense.
we're coming to a head. It's coming.
It will.
Yeah.
I believe
It's
so.
definitely coming. You can see it coming. And I hate to say it. I didn't think I was going to live to see it, you know, but the tea leaves are falling that way. And because we are seeing at our local gun shops that people going in and buying guns, first time gun owners, they mostly sit on the side of the left, and most of them not even thinking about they don't even support the Second Amendment or the Constitution.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? They just going in there for self-preservation.
It is real.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Real.
almost like I can't think of the word when you say one thing but do another. You know,
Mhm.
'cause I do that a lot
Contradiction.
myself, but
Yeah.
I do that a lot myself. But it is what it is.
Yeah. We may see
You know,
something that.
I'm a very conservative person.
That's why I'm surprised you call yourself a Democrat.
I'm a very conservative person.
Right.
But my family is very liberal, and
Mine too.
I jumped the
Mine
fence.
too. Mine too. But I argue with them. I
But you
can be conservative and still be a Democrat.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, you sure can.
You're looking at one.
Yeah, this is one right here.
But when I was in the military, I voted for Reagan. I always voted Republican because
Most military guys did.
my raise. They're gonna get me my raise, and they're gonna keep a strong army.
Same thing in law
fight
enforcement. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
law enforcement guys do the same thing because Republicans are always going to make sure
They
law
take care of you.
enforcement is taken care of.
And
But what I'm saying is, in days gone by, there was a time when somebody who leaned blue also was conservative. Most black people in America who grew up in a Christian household
Are conservative.
have values of conservatism.
Yes, they are.
You do it for yourself. You get up every day. You do what you got to do. You're not waiting for somebody else to do it for you. That's conservatism. If you're looking back and you say, "Oh, you know what? Somebody's going to send me some money today, or I'll get a Cash App award later on today, and I'll go get something to eat," that's not conservatism. That's the blue team.
Right.
So that's the crazy thing, because there's a lot of people who are consider themselves Democrat who actually have conservative values. The problem is our politicians are not able to mesh that and
capture,
work together. Because what they do is either you follow my rule or you don't, and this is what we see. This is what we see in our politicians. Just knocking heads. Nobody's being able to integrate one another. Nobody's even to say, "Okay, I'll give you 50, you give me 40 today," and then later on we make up that 10.
They're not looking out for the interests of the American people. They're looking out for the interests of themselves.
Absolutely.
So my philosophy, they all need to be removed, and we need to start from a fresh slate.
Yeah,
You know?
that's never going to happen, but we definitely need term limits. You got people, look at the damn president, 50 something years now of political quote unquote service, and we have nothing to show for it.
No, you ain't black if you didn't vote for him.
No, but if you want to see his positive things he did, look at the '94 crime bill, where they sent black dudes to jail for selling weed that now that's legal. That should have been legal all along.
Right. Some of them cats are still in jail
Yep.
for that. Yeah. I want to thank John Wilson for saying it's a nice dialogue we was having. I appreciate that.
Yep.
And it is really, really crazy what's going on out there. Um, only thing I can say is just get prepared.
Mhm.
You know,
Stay prepared.
stay prepared. Yeah, and
Keep testing the fence line. You never know when it's gonna break.
mhm. And it may break at the least times you
When
think it's gonna happen.
Yep. It
And
will.
they're also, they're wagging the dog where we got aliens now.
Mhm. Right.
Come on.
That's
Come
just
on.
a look over here. So I can
Right.
punch you with this hand.
I mean, how many times we've been in the field, Howard, and we
Oh,
ain't seen no aliens.
oh man, I don't know how many times I've chased fireflies.
Mhm.
And I always said if I ever see an alien I had live rounds, I'm gonna shoot that baby down. You know what I'm saying? I want proof.
So y'all don't believe in Area 51.
I don't know what to believe at this point, man.
Okay, well, the government is now coming out and literally saying that they've had close encounters with non-human
Let one
communications.
this is I'll believe it. This is how I will believe it. Let one land in Washington, D.C. on the White House lawn,
That's
and
a
it's
movie,
on
bro.
live TV. You know what I'm
that's a
saying?
movie. You're just describing a movie.
I understand, but this is what I want to.
1967 movie.
This is what I want to see. I want to see it land. I want to see them get out, and I want to ask them, "Where you guys from? How long we been here? You know what I'm saying? And who made you?"
You won't be happy until they start probing you.
No, ain't nobody
Yes,
probing me,
They're
man.
gonna snatch you up.
But that
and they're
is
gonna
it.
probe you, and then you'll be like, "Oh wow, they are aliens."
Well, but see, that's what
You can
you
search
brought that
all-
up. You brought that up. See, that makes you think that the aliens on the alphabet group. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think they
Because
are.
everybody who's been kidnapped has been probed.
Everyone has been kidnapped. When they say they women and men, they say the same thing.
They've been
The
probed.
ones that are somewhat believable. I forgot the guy's name. I used to know it. It's like a whole project with this guy, and everything they said was he was credible because they gave him a lie detector. They asked him multiple questions. Same question 3 different ways. Blah 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 blah. Gave full investigation, and this guy, he came through scot clean on the other side. Like they said, wow, he's not lying, and he described the probe. So
I'm
I
not
think either they're weirdos or they just have more scientific understanding than we do.
Yeah, but I don't know what the probing's got to do with it. You know,
They
and
want to see what goes up there. What's up
see,
there?
nobody has guns when they're confronted with
They
these
did.
people.
They weren't.
You know what I'm saying? Shoot them. Take them out. Why are you trying to communicate with these cats? You know what I'm saying?
Did you ever see Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
I
Yeah.
saw
80s, 70s, late 70s,
Yeah,
early
yeah, I
80s
saw.
movie. Yeah. And the dude
Yeah, I
makes a
saw.
big pile of mashed potatoes because they get in his mind, and he's showing them this is what it's going to look like. And he, in the middle of his house, makes this, humongous pile of potatoes into a mountain. And it turns out that's exactly where they were. They were somewhere out there in California. They landed. Yeah.
Yeah, I really didn't understand that. I'm not a sci-fi guy, so
Well, you don't believe
You
in
know.
the future. That's your problem.
yeah.
Well, as a Christian, I will tell you all that you can search long, you can search far, you can look as far as you want.
Mhm.
There's nobody out here but us.
Mm.
God,
Okay.
God made the
Okay.
heavens and earth, and He done it all in 7 days, and He said that it was good. And
So,
He done.
so that alien do land. And what you gonna do? What you gonna do then? That's gonna blow your world up. You know what I'm saying?
But the devil has a right to walk the earth, and God said that.
there we go. Okay, it's the devil now. Yeah, but
That was fun.
you couldn't look at it like that, But see, once I think they're setting us up, man. I think they're setting us up for a planetarial one government. Because the only thing they
Oh yeah, I think that's
only thing they got to do is say, "Hey, we got alien life. Let's show you them. Here they are right here,
Mhm.
Now we need to have one planetary government and one organization to fall under, and they're going and they're going to nullify every country's constitution, and everybody's going to be under one rule.
I mean, you know, they're already working on electronic currency, so it's coming.
Yeah, and that's terrible. I'm not going for that.
Oh, this is the cat you sent me out.
No, don't. That's called not sufficient or not
Oh, okay. I can't air that.
friendly for work. That's for after hours, bro.
Yeah, we're
Don't open
using
that
yeah.
one.
Right.
But
Hey,
I was looking
Omar.
up. I was
Thank you
looking
for
up
coming
one
on.
to contradict what Howard said, and that came up, and I was like, "Ooh, we're gonna send
Oh,
that to you."
okay.
But
Okay.
this one I'll send right here. This is what we have to look forward to in the future. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
See that? That's the
This
dude.
is
That's the dude
the
doing the
gray
probes.
alien.
That's the
Yeah.
guy right there. This dude right here is doing the probes on all these people they snatching and taking up to their spacecraft.
Right.
And it's called the gray alien. That's what they all like multiple people have described this. That's what I was trying to remember. The Roswell UFO.
But you ever notice there's no female aliens?
I think they're all the same. They're like asexual. They don't need any females anymore. See, you probably ready to go now, aren't you?
No, I'm not ready. No, that's kind of weird to me. You know, that's kind of weird. You know, but
Yeah, we'll look at that other one later on when we get off.
Yeah,
And
we'll get
share
off
with
there.
Howard.
We'll
That one
take care
is.
of that.
Ugh.
And so for us, we continue to do our normal training.
Mhm.
You know, we're constantly out on the range. Al's on the range more than I am nowadays. You know, and I need to get back out there. And but we belong to an outdoor range out
Covington, pretty much.
in Covington. What is this WK that said? Looks like the dude I know from Detroit.
Exactly.
Oh
Big
my
head,
god.
little body, big head, little body dude.
Oh man, dude from Detroit.
Mhm.
Probably eat the bologna sandwich while he's talking to you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
But we constantly do our training. We get out there. You know, we both used to shoot competition, and we can, you know, the
You said out in Covington?
South River Gun Club.
Okay.
That we
It's right on
belong
the
out there.
borderline of Covington and Conyers.
And been a member out there for I think me since about 10 years, and you've been longer than that, right?
Yeah,
Al?
around the same 2009.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And so that's the only place I actually shoot outdoors. I just can't do the indoor stuff. It's too dangerous. You got too many yahoos in there just going nuts, you know,
Right.
taking pictures and swinging guns around like there's no tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And but you like you say, you're in the archery. I shoot archery. I'll shoot archery too. And
Yeah,
so
when
we
he said
probably,
that, I was going to chime in, but we kept it
Yeah.
moving.
we'll
Yeah,
probably
all three of
get-
us do it.
yeah, get together. Yeah, I've been shooting archery since '87. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's my that's my golf. You know, that's my zen when I get into archery. I can do it for 3 or 4 hours straight and just zone out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah, and but buy some gear, guys. On the back end, we're going to show you some places where you can get some stuff. Howard, and but we want to thank you guys for watching the show. Like I said, we're live on Rumble, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Twitch. Twitch is a weird place. We're live on D Live and YouTube. Ring the bell, go to the bell, click on the bell, and click on all. And every time this show comes up, you will get a notification. For you guys who are watching us on Rumble, you get a clearer picture and the audio's better. Download the Rumble app on your Android or your Apple phone. And once you make a subscription or account, type in the search bar, the Two Alphas Talk, and follow our channel and support the channel. We're trying to get those numbers up on that channel. We have 7,000 some odd likes on the main page, but we're trying to get our actual channel up and get it going. So please support that. Please pass it around. And other than that, you guys can catch us at saberteamtactical.com or anywhere on the range. And if you guys got any questions for us, any classes, like I said, we got a classes coming up July 22nd. Rifle tactical gear. No, it's not rifle tactical gear.
PCC.
PCC class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rifle and PCC.
Rifle and PCC class. That class is for 22s all the way up to a 308. We'll teach you how to run your rifle like a pistol. And if you really want to challenge yourself, come out there. You're going to do some shooting. It's a 500 round course. And so we don't play. So if you guys want to come out there and do that, we got some things going on with the vault. What is it, next month, August 19th?
Yep.
And we'll give them a shout out, the vault. We also give a shout out to gun range and safes. And also another shout out to the people down in Warner Robins who watch this show. And we appreciate you guys watching the show and supporting the show. And you got any last words of encouragement, Howard?
Other than, you guys are very informative and you kind of help keep us up to date on what's going on. The pros and the cons. I really like the show, enjoyed the show, definitely enjoyed this conversation. If there's one thing that can offer to everybody is that you have your rights for a reason. Why surrender it?
That's right.
Makes sense.
Once you lose them, you never get them back.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, WK. Y'all hit the thumbs up button. Yep. Got anything, Al?
Yes. It's 4th of July weekend. Don't shoot.
Oh, yeah.
Damn guns.
Mass shootings are getting ready to happen.
No damn
Keep
guns
your-
in the air.
Keep your eyes out. Mass shootings are coming.
Not only that, but don't shoot no guns in the air.
Yeah, because the bullet comes
Those
back
weapons
down.
has to come back down.
Yeah.
May not
Yeah.
come down in your house, but it'll come down somewhere.
And maybe a child, maybe a pregnant woman, maybe
You know how many times
somebody.
I've had this
innocent.
discussion with people and they try to explain it to me that it's a tradition. I don't give a damn.
It's not a tradition. If
We've
they really
been
knew,
doing that since 1634.
yeah.
See, exactly right. That's what I've heard that.
Right.
Oh my goodness, no. Go to the range, man. Shoot it into the target.
A berm.
Into a berm. Don't
Right.
shoot it into the air.
Right. Make
That's
sure you
it.
have a backstop. Other than that,
Exactly.
guys, we'll
Be
see
safe.
you on the range. Howard, hang on. Don't go nowhere. And we'll see you when we get back.
Yes.
Hey.